Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ba'd. This is the second day of daily hadith, and inshallah, today we'll be dealing with the hadith that displays one of the different characteristics of a true believer. Now, as we know, a true believer, as he gets closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he becomes from amongst those people that he tries his best to do all the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded him to do and stay away from all the prohibitions, the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prohibited him from doing. He starts to love the people who do those, who also follow that same type of path. And he starts to despise the people that take the path, and not despise them in a way that he looks down on them, because we're not talking about becoming arrogant and looking at the people like with disdain and hatred, because that's not the case. Because all people, they go through a period of ups and downs. The iman, it goes up and it goes down. So if we see people that are committing sins, especially in regards to the people being a Muslim, we should constantly try to advise our brothers and try to encourage them to do the things that they know they should be doing. And we should never look down on each other, ever. We should never get arrogant, because as soon as you start to get arrogant and think that you're doing better than everybody else, then you're going to find yourself in a different position. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's the one that controls the hearts. We don't control ourselves. Like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said about the heart, saying, "Bayna isba'ina min asabi ar-Rahman." It's between two fingers of the fingers of Ar-Rahman, the merciful one. وَيَقْلِبُهُ كَيْفَ يَشَاءُ, and he changes them as he wishes. So it's based on the person. If the person starts to get arrogant and he starts to think that he's doing the correct actions and everybody else is doing wrong, and you sit back and watch what happens to that person. So the whole issue is that the true believer, as he's trying to know everything that's obligatory upon him to do and trying his best to do the things that are obligatory upon him to do, he loves obedience to Allah. So he loves obedience, and he loves to see the obedience in the people around him. And he hates the disobedience of Allah, and he hates to see that type of disobedience in the people around him. Because as you get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you with your iman, as it becomes stronger, you should love the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves and hate the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hates. And not necessarily that you hate the person. Like if you have a Muslim who's committing sins, we don't hate the person. We hate the disobedience in the person. And we give the person advice because he's still our brother. And we still want him to come back to the truth. And we still want him to be on obedience, because that's what we love to see in the people. We love for our brothers what we love for ourselves. And if we love to be on obedience, then we love the people around us to be on obedience. And that's what we try to constantly try to give advice to the people. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Asr. So we're all constantly trying to give advice to each other with the truth, and give advice to each other to be patient, because it requires patience to give da'wah, to teach the people. You have to be patient, because most of the people, they're steeped in ignorance, and it's very hard for them to come out of that ignorance, because especially if they can't accept their state. So you have to be patient with the people and constantly give them da'wah and teach the people. So this hadith is dealing with how we should be in regards to that type of characteristic of loving what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves and hating what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hates. So this hadith is an Abi Umamah radiyallahu anhu عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال من أحب لله وأبغض لله وأعطى لله ومنع لله فقد استكمل الإيمان أخرجه أبو داود بإسناد حسن. So this hadith is reported on the authority of Abi Umamah radiyallahu anhu, and which he said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, he said, "Man ahabba lillah," whoever loves for Allah. And this means that you love a person based on the obedience of that person to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't love the person for personal reasons. You don't love the person because you share some type of memories together, or because you went to the same school, or because you share some of the same hobbies. But you love the person for Allah. And that means that you love the person because that person is a person who's in obedience. And this love is the love of the ulama, the love of the tulab al-ilm, the love of the du'at, the people that are giving da'wah to the Quran and the Sunnah, and with the correct understanding. So we love these people, and we love any person, even amongst the awam, the general population of people. You find maybe a lot of Muslims, they love the Quran and the Sunnah, and they love the people from the Quran and the Sunnah, but they're not tulab al-ilm. They don't have the knowledge. But you always find them in the masjid. You always find them reading the Quran. If you see them in every single salat, you might find them in the saf al-awwal, in the first row. praying, and we love these people. Whether he has knowledge or not, but whatever knowledge he has, he's acting on that knowledge, even if it's little, in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he's doing the correct thing based on the Quran and the Sunnah. So we love those people. So that's man ahabba lillah. Wa man abghada lillah. And this, of course, is the opposite. And he hates for Allah. He hates for the sake of Allah. And this, of course, it goes back to disobedience. And the biggest disobedience is a shirk. The biggest disobedience is shirk. And under no circumstances do we have any type of love for a person who commits shirk with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at all. All right. Regardless, because that is a sin that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not forgive. And also the people who commit innovations in this religion. Because after shirk, we have the innovators, the people that come and change things and make the people think that certain things are from the Sunnah, they're not from the Sunnah. And they start adding things to the religion, like the religion was not complete until they came along and tried to complete it. And these types of people, we have hatred for that because they're changing the religion of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down the religion, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's the one who said, اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت نعمتي عليكم ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's the one who said in Surah Al-Ma'idah that today I have completed for you your religion. وَأَتْمَمْتُ عَلَيْكُمْ نِعْمَتِي, and I perfected my favors upon you. I've completed them. And the favors, of course, of the Islam, the Quran, the Sunnah, and everything, and all the understanding of the religion. وَرَضِيتُ لَكُمُ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and I'm pleased with Islam as a religion for you. So anybody to come later on and start to change things in the religion, we despise this. We despise anybody who tries to change the religion after the death of the Prophet ﷺ, because after that, then whatever was around at that time, that is Islam. Anybody that starts to add things later on into the religion, new laws and new rules, and this is now becomes halal when it used to be haram, like the different people who start to make musical instruments halal, and it was very, very clear from the Hadith and Sunan Abi Dawood that it's haram, and the people that start making like shaving the beard halal, and all these types of things, these are all innovations in the religion, and we despise that, and we despise it for the sake of Allah, because they're going against the religion of Allah and they're disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not a personal reason. This is not like the gang-banging mentality where we start to like just hate people because they're going against what we're upon. It's not about what we're upon. It's about the obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this person is showing complete disobedience. And then on top of that, a lot of the innovators, they don't like to accept the truth. When you try to give them advice, they start to get arrogant. So this is now he's compounding, his problems, because now he's got the innovation and then he's got the arrogance, the haughty attitude that goes with not accepting the advice and not accepting the Kitab wa Sunnah and not accepting the truth. So this is to be despised, and to be despised for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not for personal reasons. He said, وَأَعْطَى لِلَّهِ, that he gives, gives for Allah. And that means that he gives in the good things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered us to give. And from charity, from zakat al-fitr, zakat, and from the zakat al-amwal, from paying zakat and zakat al-fitr. And these are the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered us to do, and we give. And also to give the people that are in need from the Muslims, to give to the people that are, striving in the path of Allah, whether they're doing talab or whatnot, and to help these people out to the best of our capabilities. وَمَنَعَ لِلَّهِ, and that he keeps back and holds back for the sake of Allah. He doesn't give to the people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا تُؤْتُوا سُفَهَاءَ أَمْوَالَكُمْ, don't give fools your money. So if you know that a person is going to take the money and use it for something haram or use it for something stupid, you don't give that person, it's not permissible to give that person the money. All right, and of course some of the mufassirun said that this refers to women and children, but it's not. It's not specific to any group of person. It's specific to the mentality of the person. If the person has foolish behavior and doesn't act mature with the money, then you don't give that person your money. And these are people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us not to give. And we don't give to people that are going to use the money in anything that's haram, or to give charity to organizations that are going to promote innovation in the religion and or promote separation between the Muslims or anything other than the Kitab wa Sunnah. Okay, he said, وَمَنَعَ لِلَّهِ فَقَدْ اسْتَكْمَلَ الْإِيمَانِ, and whoever has done this, then he has completed his iman, like he's gone to the highest level of iman. And this is because this takes on all forms, because the only way that a person can get to that level is that he has to be from amongst the people that are striving to be obedient to Allah and striving to stay away from all the prohibitions of Allah. And then and that's when he starts to love the people who are doing the same. And he starts to hate the people who are not doing the same, and the people, whether they're doing that out of arrogance or whatnot, but he hates the disobedience to Allah. And that for the sake of Allah, not for the sake of himself, and it's not for personal reasons. Wallahu alam, wa ila huna subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.